Hello, welcome to January 2024, transits for the week, our astrological weather. And yes, we made it over and through the holidays. Yay. I know for me, this time got busy with a lot of different things, family and different things in my job and what I do. So it's just been a very busy time, very hectic. But that's kind of par for the course this time of year. Anyway, we've passed that. I hope everybody had a good holiday season and ready to get back and rock and roll here. So we've had an interesting changeover with the right at the end of the year. We had Jupiter go direct, and it's been hanging out there, and that steady Taurus. I think that's what we have Jupiter there this year in Taurus, and then we have Uranus there in Taurus. But by Jupiter being in Taurus, I think that's what's given us some overextending financial stability. But it's going to, now that it's direct, it's going to move fast through Taurus and then enter Gemini in the late spring. So I would use this time definitely to secure anything on the financial level, anything solid, anything that you can that will get you more, your feet in the ground, security while this big sign of Jupiter is kind of still holding on. I think our dollar we're going to see the end of it, and we're going to see a lot of changes financial this year. We'll do some recordings on coming up financial trends and how things are going to go for 2024. But first up, we got to make use of this Taurus energy. What is Taurus energy? It's, it's the home of Venus. Venus, that home of Venus, it has two homes, and then it has Libra. It rules both of those. But the Taurus home is cushy and comfortable and satisfying, and it has the best, chocolates and a good coffee, and it has, creature comforts, and it's nice and comfy, and wants security. So with Jupiter, the big planet, it's important, I think, that large security, we secure as much as we can for ourselves. All right, that being said, that happened right at the end of the year, I think on the 31st. I'm going to go back a day. You can see it there. See it stationary, that little S where there R is retrograde. So stationary, that means it's like still. It's not, it's like turned around. And then we move to today or yesterday on January 1st, and we see Mercury is stationary. It's going direct. Both these planets are going direct. And we'll see today, there we go. It moved 1 degree. Actually didn't move. It's still at 22 degrees. Mercury's been slow, hanging out at that 22 degrees Sag. All right, so we move to today, and we see that now it's stationary. Well, that's good news, but it doesn't pick up speed for a while. And let's look in our handy dandy ephemeris and see when Mercury will get out of shadow. And what the heck does that mean? Well, as you know, when Mercury was traveling forward before, then beginning of December, when was it? It was on the 13th at 8 degrees Capricorn. That's where it went retrograde. So it was going into Capricorn. It said, whoa, slow down. So then it stationed at 8 degrees. It went back 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It went back into Sag. 29, 28, 27, 22 started to, slow down right there. And then today it changed. So it's at 22 Sag, and it has to travel all the way to 8 Capricorn to get out of where it was in almost the middle of December. So we kind of have to pick up mentally where we were, like in the middle of December, kind of right before the last day of shipping things out to get there in time for Christmas. So the 13th. So let's go look. We'll see when it's at the 21st of January of this month that it's an 8, and then later in the day on the 21st, about right when the sun changes signs. Isn't it funny how things line up like that? So the sun will change signs into Aquarius. That's the day Mercury will be out of its shadow. It'll be out of where it had to retrograde through and turn around. So kind of mark that day down. That's the next sign change. we're going into, but I'll heads up on that in a couple of weeks. But I just thought, we have to look at things in as these cycles. We're looking at these big cycles and kind of seeing how things are rolling. So interesting this year, the Mercury retrograde will all be in fire signs. Like you can see right now, it retrograded back into Sag. And then in the spring, it'll go into Aries. And then in the summer, middle summer, it'll retrograde back into Leo. So it's going, Mercury retrograde into the fire signs. Does that mean you have to redo things on the energetic level, or maybe you put forth energy into things that didn't quite pan out? So as we get near the end of each Mercury, forward phase before it goes retrograde, it's just kind of good to just see where you've put your energies. And part of learning astrology and just studying these cycles is to see how these cycles and how these energies come up and how do we work with them. It all goes so fast. I mean, I've listened to so many people, doing their year. I do my own. I look at the year ahead. But it just gets gobbledygoo when you go through too much, unless you're kind of have it as a big hobby or a full-time astrologer. It's like, I don't remember. Yeah, right. I don't know. So anyway, if you just get the big picture, every month we have the moon going, becoming full and then becoming no moon, because it goes next to the sun and it blares it out and you can't see it. That's why there's no moon. And then we go full moon, no new moon, full moon, new moon. So we have those that cycle every month. Each month the sun moves into a new sign, and Mercury's always hanging around the sun. It's kind of like, the sun is like a person and Mercury's like a dog on a leash. The dog's walking in front of you and that's as far as it'll go. And then it'll start to go retrograde. It goes to the end of its leash, yank, and then it comes back, and then it gets obstinate, and you walk in front of it, and the dog's behind you, and you got to kind of, give it a yank again, say, hey, come on. That's as far as it's retrograde, and then it starts to go forward, and then it gets up with you, and then it moves ahead, and, yank it back. So that's Mercury and the sun. So it does that 3 times a year. It goes ahead of the sun, and then retrogrades, goes back. And then it comes and it goes forward, passes the sun, and it reaches the end of its leash and it goes back. So that's a 3-month cycle. So that's a good one to remember. And each time, like we're starting this year with the Mercury, it's like it just went direct, but it's in the fire sign. So Mercury, speech, communications, intellect, movement, holding lots of ideas person. It's not a depthy sign. It's more superficial. So it gets along and it likes to be in that, it's its opposite, it's its detriment, but at the same time, it's still lively. So I don't think it's the worst detriment of signs. Some of them I think are really bad, some of them are just like, oh, but this one isn't. So I think that for me, whenever we get the Mercury and the Sag, it's more lively, it's more investigatory, it's more like I want to learn. But there's also a part of this whole scene coming up in this next week is, the moon is moving through the part of our chart of Virgo, of Libra, of Scorpio, and of Sagittarius. So we start in this week, with the moon in Virgos, which is really busy. It's perfect. It's like, oh, good, I get the house cleaned up. I want to put all the way the ornaments, or I got to get stuff, all the things that I need to return, or all the stuff that I didn't get to. It's piled on my desk starting, when Mercury went retrograde. I'm whittling down on my pile, but it's like when all these other tasks get out of the way, then I can get to, we can all get to certain things. So that's that. We're moving in with this Virgo energy. See, while I'm taking down the ornaments, I might as well dust. Oh, look at that. I might as well do a good number of cleaning on that. So this is a good time to enact in cleaning and clearing away clutter. And we'll get into another couple aspects that enhance that later in the week. I'll get back to that in a minute. But then we're coming up on our, the last, we call it the 3/4 moon. We had the full moon in Cancer last week, and now it's like halfway, to becoming a new moon. So middle of this week, Wednesday, actually tomorrow, we'll see the 3/4 of the moon. It'll be nice in space, you'll see the line and it'll look half full, is really what it is. That's what I call it. It's weird. It's like a 3/4 moon, but that's the whole moon phase. The first quarter, the second quarter is getting, well, we'll go through that whole thing. But anyway, it's waning. So it's like it was full, and every night since it's gotten a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. And tonight, or say tomorrow night, you'll see the nice line. It looks like a half moon. So this is the disseminating, part of the moon. Let me see what I want to give to you. It's like, here we go, my notes. It's like it begins to move, we got 90 degrees away from the sun. And let me actually click over a day and you can actually see the 90-degree angle. So you see the sun here, and if it were exact degree, here you can see it's tomorrow at this time I have it at 6 Libra, and the sun is at 12 Capricorn. But let's just, for sake of, I like you guys to see the actual math, you can see this thing in place. So the sun, we got to go get the moon moves about 13 degrees a day. So there we go, 12 degrees. And then the sun moved 13. There we go. Okay, so Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time, United States, it's almost 10:30 p.m. that it's the exact. And you can see sun in Capricorn, cardinal sign, moon in Libra, cardinal sign. So here they're both the exact degree at this time, but all day tomorrow, the moon will be moving into the square with the sun. So what does that mean? We can see this 90 degree here, in the chart. So this is like the where's look at it, where the moon is moved 90 degrees past full, which was last week. She's decreasing in light and rises at midnight. It can be seen in the eastern sky during the late evening hours. And she doesn't reach her highest point until very early in the morning. So we'll be able to you can see this moon, this type of moon through the day, right? So this period corresponds to disintegration, drawing back, reflect on what's been accomplished. It's time to reorganize, clear the boards, and plan for the next new moon stage coming up. So we've got the moon moving through our busy, discriminating, detail-oriented Virgo. It puts us in the mood to clean, scour, troubleshoot, get back on track. And then after, tomorrow when it moves into Libra, it's more, oriented toward relationships, partnerships, bringing balance back in different situations, whether it's social or home or family, friends, whatever. It's like getting more cooperation, more compromise, seeing something from somebody else's point of view, maybe beautifying your surroundings because it is Venus ruled. So you might be, cleaning, all the Christmas decorations or whatever, getting that. And then it's like a decide to clean. Here we go again. This is what I was saying. It's going to be reinforced a few times. It's like, oh, I might as well clean that up. I want to make it look nice, and I'll declutter that because that's been bugging me. And, you get yourself where you have a little bit more elegant, neat order, hopefully, and at least in some areas. Maybe if nothing else, your bathroom sink. And then we move into intense Scorpio. Moon here feels everything, so this can get really intense. So it's important that you put in good relationship analogies and people while the moon's in Libra for 2.5 days, and then it goes into intense Scorpio. And it's fall, isn't it? It's fall is like opposite. It likes to be exalted. It's in Taurus, so it's fall is there. So anything like, passion, joy, jealousy, betrayal, love can take center stage, because the moon is like in this, going into that intense sign. I'll get back to other things. I don't want to move the chart yet because I got a couple other things I want to tell you, but I just want to head you off on this week with the moon. So kind of be careful of maybe letting your emotions get obsessive, or you get obsessive about something or someone or a point of view, or stuck on something, or becoming too secretive or suspicious maybe, or brooding during that time. So that's going to be most, taking us through, let's see, Saturday. Yeah, I think so. Is it moving to Sunday moon moves into Sag. So when moon moves into Sag late in the week, we get more optimistic, and kind of where Venus, Mercury is. So the moon will then enhance that. Higher minded, long distance travel, maybe starting on a course or something. A lot of people might want to, get going on educating themselves under that type of moon. Maybe being interested in philosophy or religion or prophecy or astrology. You could spend more time outside. Might be more spontaneous. You might laugh more loudly. Watch for a little bit of tendency to waste and excess. Now, this could be you get into the cleaning mode and you throw out too much crap, which is probably a good thing, but just watch that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Isn't that a horrible expression? But it's so, it's so apropos. Somebody's just all worn out and it's like, whoosh, whoops. So anyway, and then next week, it'll move into Capricorn, and that's when we have our new moon. We'll get to that next week. But anyway, those are the signs and the phase of the moon that we're dealing with. So let's go back to what's going on tomorrow. A couple days ago on Monday, we had the Mercury square Saturn. Let me just go over that because that might have been feeling a little like, we're back at hours. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so Monday we could see, remember when anything changes signs, and we had Venus change signs at the end of last week into Sag, and we know that anything, in those early degrees is going to have to square up or do something with Saturn, depending on how far it is apart. So we got a square, we got a mutable square, another square. We had the sun moon one, right? We're showing you that, but now this started with Venus and Saturn. So mutable. So what is this? This again is maybe, we're spending a week clearing out clutter, getting rid of stuff we don't want, putting in order. Saturn, it's like Saturn and Venus is maybe, it's a little it's like Venus has to be a little bit of the maid. Venus has got to go take care of grandpa. Venus has got to do a little work, maybe go spend, instead of so much time on herself, push that out to others. Saturn, especially Saturn in Pisces, it's like, share that love energy with others, share that Venusian, yay, I'm in Sagittarius, it's fun, with others, with less privileged, the elderly, young, so that kind of a moon at this time of year, I think, is really important. Holidays are hard for a lot of people. I think it's important to, kind of reach out to people that aren't maybe as able as you, and just share that. So it's like maybe a little sobering look at some of that, and, not to be down on yourself or anything, but just to go, I should do a little bit of that kind of stuff more. I'm pretty fortunate, and I could share that with others. So I think that's kind of what's setting the tone also for this week as we move in to the new year. All right, back to tomorrow. We talked about that, and then Venus is also in a she goes first to square to Saturn, and again what I just talked about, and then she's in a quincunx, that 150 degree odd angle to Jupiter. So that's, again, it's like the value of something. It's like Venus is like, I don't need any more crap for myself. I really should, give somebody else. Or, it's like, because Jupiter's, wanting to be expansive, but this aspect is limiting. So it's like instead of it being like unsatisfied type of thing, which it could easily fall into, you being snobbish and snippy and unsatisfied, but go, I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I can share with others. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things you got to pull yourself up and like, hey, come on, let's get on board here. So the two Venus things is like, it's just, we have to sort of move ourselves into getting out of ourselves. Oh, I'm so inconvenienced, that we got to watch that kind of attitude with these two aspects coming in. All right, moving on to funner things, more fun things. I like saying funner. Funny word. It's not even a real good word. Anyway, here we move. You can see the moon is now getting toward the end of Libra, but it's, crossed over the south node. So again, this is like paring away, getting rid of crap. This is like maybe emotionally dumping crap you don't need, getting rid of, maybe because it's in Libra, organizing the relationships that you have maybe in a better way, paying attention to maybe needs, because this, the South Node is more of a spiritual place. It's not your attainment in the world. It's kind of taking care of maybe the less fortunate. It's, getting rid of, purging. So this is cleaning, organizing, maybe cleaning somebody else's house, maybe cleaning your mom's house, or, helping your little brother, clean out his closet, or, whatever, things like that. Okay. Ooh, a little bit of good coffee. I roast my own coffee and it's delicious. I love it. Get the green coffee beans, organic ones, and little coffee roaster, roast it. Yummy. Okay, yes. So we can see the moon just went over there at that time. So Thursday, we have a little bit of that. Soul searching, maybe. And then I don't get into Chiron a whole lot. I think there's just too much, but the moon does oppose Chiron. Moon in relationship-oriented Libra opposing the wounded warrior, Chiron in Aries. So there could be a little bit of healing some crap that comes up, for sure. And then we have Mars moving into Capricorn that day. Do I have it right there? Yeah, you can see it 0 degrees right in the bottom in the 5th house here. So, so we know that's going to make an aspect, but over to Saturn. But we go, okay, so it's this feminine side, and it's going to be like 1, 2. So it's going to make a sextile over there in a few days as Mars gets on. We can see that. I want you to start to see, you look at something and you know that it's going to be close. It's like, okay, I know Mars, okay, it's in this sign. Count ahead. So from 0, it's like you go all the way through Capricorn and there to like 0 Aquarius. That'd be 30 degrees, right? 32. And then all the way over to the next sign, if we went to 0, that would be 60. All right, so this would be 63 degrees because Mars is here. But we know, Saturn is here, but Mars is going to move ahead. So that will be a closing. It's going to get closer and closer. So we're going to feel the sextile of these two in a few days. So what is that? We'll get into it more, but that's going to kind of give energy to, again, all the stuff we're talking about. Saturn, it's like, the Venus is like, oh, okay, I gotta do it. Mars is gonna be like, yes, you can, and you need to, and this will be good. Go over and clean your father's house. Go and help your little brother organize his games. Some kind of practical, putting in order, or creating some kind of order, because you got to pay attention to Saturn, and then he'll be fine. And this is a nice aspect with Mars in that. So it's like Mars is energy, and then Saturn, is doing those responsible things, so whatever they may be. All right, so that's going on there Thursday. Mars changes. So a lot of sign changes. We had, we had Jupiter at the very end, on the 31st. Then we had Mercury yesterday on the 1st, and then now we have Mars. So a lot of sign changes. So that the whole tone of this month is going to be different. It's going to be changing. And now that we're out of some of this retrograde energy, it's going to feel lighter, feel more forward, moving ahead. Your ideas, your things are going to actually start to flow and pick up the pace. So moving into Friday, the moon moves into Scorpio, and again, we've got that depth, not liking to be there. So this is what's going to dredge some stuff up. But the moon, again, makes a trine now over to Mars. And then it makes a sextile to Mars, because that's 2 signs apart, right? And it's feminine. So it goes 1, 2. So we see the moon will make that. So that's a good conversation. It's like the feelings, it might get the push of energy. You can have that energy to soul search, to go in and deal with stuff, to say what needs to be said. And then it's in a trine over to Saturn. So that's good. Moon trine Saturn. It's like, okay. So we got the wink and the nod from, Kronos, or the, Mr. Saturn going, yes, son, you're doing well. So we got kind of that there. Like, okay. But then we got kind of an odd thing. We got an opposition. Moon will then oppose Jupiter. So maybe it curtails some of the tendency to go deep into emotion. You know, it's like we have it, the moon is in Scorpio, but then the opposition to Jupiter might be kind of a way out. It's like, okay, you did some soul searching. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom and dredge up all the muck. Okay, you don't have to do that. We just got to bail out some dirty water, kind of, so to speak. All right. And then, interestingly, on Saturday, after, see, the moon will make it some more interesting things. It will oppose Uranus. Let's see. So we get the right thing here. There it is. Okay. So right there, you can see it. Look at perfect. Oh, I'm glad I had this time set nice. I love when it happens. All right. So the moon, 8:30 Eastern time, opposes Uranus. So that's kind of wonky. All right. That was just might be a little bit of a buildup to something sudden. You might learn something about yourself. You might learn something about someone. You might investigate and find something. Something might come out of the blue emotionally, because moon is feelings. Or you might all of a sudden see something, out of the blue. Uranus. Oh, but it's in Taurus. It's a stable kind of out of the blue. A real down to earth reckoning, or maybe you got a real earthy hit on something you need to, something inside yourself, something with somebody else, something that you had to use that moon investigating, that deep scorpionic, maybe looking for, Scorpio wants to know as well. It's an energy. I mean, it's an information vacuum. So maybe, you did a little vacuuming, while we're in this whole cleaning this week. But after, okay, here's the optimum time thing. Here's your little thing for this week, Saturday. Okay, so this is 8:30. So after the moon makes this opposition, and then, adjust it to your time zone until the void of course moon on Sunday. So this will be, it's later in the day, I think. We'll look in a minute. But you've got a good day here now to take advantage of this intense energy. This is intense. The last quarter moon, the moon, moving through Scorpio, and it's just got done opposing Uranus. So now it's like this intense cleaning and clearing away of stuff. It could be cleaning clutter. It could be recycling. It could be, just even on the physical plane, because we've been talking about this all week. Or it could be inner. It could be inside of yourself, inside of your own psyche, or maybe a little bit of both. And sometimes I find, like, when you're dealing with heavy things inside of yourself, to help it, instead of brooding, go clean. Really, put order in something. You'll feel better. You'll take your mind off it. You'll be now focused on putting those books in order and taking out the bad ones and cleaning out the roach poop and, whatever, and then organizing it. And then you've done something. You've showed the universe that you're not just going to sit there and feel pissy and brood. You're actually going to start putting order in, and things will change. You'll feel better. You'll get, the cosmos will start to work in your favor. All right. So that, from, again, like 8:30 Eastern time. And if you're on the West Coast, like 5:30, in the afternoon. So you have a little bit more time on that level, but let's just go ahead and see, well, what else have we got going on that day? Yeah, I already said the moon. The moon makes a sextile to the sun that day, because the moon, is in Scorpio, and it's 2 signs away from the sun. You see, it's here. It's like it just actually passed it at this time, because you got 60 degrees. So that's a nice thing. The moon is in a nice kind of harmonious with the sun. So that means, like, your feelings and your ego are getting along. It's like, yes, I feel better about myself. Yes, I did these things, and I am moving it forward, and I am making a good positive impact in my world in whatever way. Okay. Then coming into Sunday, let's see here. Let's see when the moon moves. Let's see, let's go back, because you can see when it was made its last aspect before it changed signs. Okay, so it's changing signs here, 5:30. So until the void, of course. See, what's the last aspect? So it's 25, 29. There we go. Okay, so it's the last aspect, 3:30, because it it will make a sextile over to, let's see, wait, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it'll make a sextile over to Pluto, which is a depthy thing. Again, moon feeling, looking at the depths of yourself. We talked about this, but it's just, it's in so many ways, so here it is, a sextile. So after this will be the last aspect. So until about, 3:30, then it will change signs. All right, so we've got Saturday late, almost all day Sunday to do this, so you'll just feel this energy and it'll be like, oh God, I can go intensely do something, which is really good way to make use of this energy. All right, anything else here? Sunday, let's see. Oh, the moon also is trining on Sunday, trining Neptune. So we go, let's see, 25 degrees. Let's see, it was back earlier because I have it in this sign. When it was back at 25 of Scorpio, let me just go back a few hours. Now you don't know where it is. I know, it's like I move it faster. You're like, where is it? 27, 26. All right, that's close enough. See, moon at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday, it's 25 Scorpio. And then we have 25 Neptune at, it's trining. These are water signs, at Pisces. So that's kind of like, we got to add this little dream element to it. This feeling good about this. This is a good alignment. This is a real good, feel good about something. Dream a little bit, put some vision into something, or maybe you get some intuitive hits. This is a really strong intuitive moon here, moon time. Again, this is 8:30 a.m. Sunday Eastern time. So adjust that. This would be, West Coast, 5:22 in the morning. Could be some good dream time. This is some good dreams. Maybe have a notebook, Saturday night into Sunday that you can remember some intuitive flashes. Maybe go to bed with some questions, some things maybe you want your intuition to focus in on. This is a really good time for that. All right, anything else? And then because we come into Monday, yeah, see, then the moon changes signs and it'll square Saturn. We already talked about that. So then the moon, this might be a second guessing kind of thing when the moon changes signs into Sag, and where is it now? I always lose it too. I gotta look around. Where is it? Almost into Sag. Hold on. It's going down. Okay. So when the moon gets to like 3 degrees there, it will square Saturn. So those are both mutable signs. So late Sunday night, hopefully you'll be in bed. Like here, it's on the East Coast, you'll be in bed while that moon passes. But on the West Coast, it's only, 10, 9, 8, it'd be like 7:30. You could feel a little shitty. That's the best way to put it, so the moon, squaring, Mercury, well, the moon there, but Mercury also, let's see, so we got the moon here squaring that, Saturn. So we got your feelings, careful you don't get your feelings hurt or bent out of shape. And then where's Mercury? There we go. And then Mercury will square Neptune the next day. You see it's at 24 degrees. So we may have, you just go there. You can go the next day. See it. And then we'll be caught up. All right. So Mercury's at 25 and then Neptune is at 25. So Mercury, this is a little bit of a square now coming into Monday with your mind. You want to maybe go do something, but you haven't totally maybe dreamed it out or thought it out. You're still in that, Neptune's still in that dreamy kind of mode. Maybe it's like, maybe you gotta vision it a little bit longer, maybe before you communicate it. So maybe something that you might be getting intuitive hits on. Don't be so quick to tell people or to say it yet, because it sometimes ruins it, when you say stuff prematurely. So you don't want it half baked. Let me put it that way. So for me, looking at this with everything else that's coming up, look at all that stuff in Sag down there. The Mercury was just coming through there. We got Venus and the moon, all this excitement, energy. And I think it's just hold on a little bit. Maybe do your own little scribbles, your own little research, feel it a little bit deeper before you communicate it. Because there may be a few snags that you just got to dream on or intuit or think or research more. Sometimes the squares bring you up some more research or some maybe it's researching, kind of pulling it in intuitively. You don't quite maybe have it. It's not a logical thing where you have to do it more of an intuitive inner connection. So anyway, however that manifests for you, it's going to set the tone for this week and this month. Okay, kind of brings us back into Tuesday next week. We'll get caught up. I think that's quite a lot. So with that, have a good week. Put this cleaning and energy, this outer cleaning and this inner cleaning with yourself, things that we don't need. This is always good to do at this time of year. And then as we get prepared for the new moon, the new moon of climbing up the ladder of success, getting started for this new year, we got to clean out things that we don't need. And if you want a new couch, you got to kind of get the old one out before. You can't have two huge couches in your room, right? All right. Talk to you all next week. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.